director, Jason, or chef. So can you, because there wasn't any AVP, so can you tell us and the story about the Sotogrande Palawan, how this came about? I know you had the soft opening last November, but so can you tell us also what has happened since then, from November until now? And just the whole, how many rooms, just the basics.
Sotogrande Palawan Hotel. It's built in our residential development named Catalina Lake Residences here in Puerto Princesa. Sotogrande Palawan Hotel has a total of 147 rooms. It's a condo hotel development by Santa Lucia. It's a purely hotel operation because we have other properties that's a mix of residential condo and hotel operation. But this building, it's purely hotel operation.
Sir, how many units ng condo at saka ng condo at hotel?
Here it's purely hotels. So
400.
so walang residential condominium that we're gonna turn over to residents. It's purely for hotel operation. So it's gonna be per night rate for Sotogrande Palawan. So that's also why we built a very big function room. We have our coffee shop here at the ground floor, and then the ballroom, which has a capacity of 200 people on the second floor. And we're hoping that this ballroom will bring us plenty of events, corporate or government, at the same time also our socials here in Puerto Princesa.
So that's 146 for this building.
Yes, it's just one tower, Soto Grande, Palawan.
And could you tell us the difference between, let's say, the marketed operations between the Sotogrande here in Palawan, your other Sotogrande, like the one here in Baguio?
The difference, I think we're very happy with Chef Thomas and his team, his Enderon team. That's the reason why when we started with Crown and Soto Grande, we also followed it up with our Soto Grande Baguio property. And so far, our properties with under Enderon, they're performing very well, especially the one in Baguio. And we're looking forward that here in Puerto Princesa, we're gonna continue improving also our events, at the same time our occupancy rates for our rooms.
So, kumusta occupancy?
So far, when we had the soft opening last November, we were only operating 3 floors, so that's half of the building. So more likely around 70 rooms. But this time around, we're just finishing up some of the finishing touches of the room. So hopefully by the end of the year, it's gonna be fully operational.
So how many hectares?
Catalina Lake Development is a total of 33 hectares.
23.
And it's a lake development. So it's a new concept developed by Santa Lucia. We used to be known to be golf course developers, but this time around we're venturing into lake developments.
We were asking about the different approaches from different hotels,
yeah.
different markets, right? I mean, Baguio is a completely different market from Palawan or from anywhere else for that matter, or Katipunan, which is also Sotogrande. Katipunan is in Manila, in the city. Baguio obviously is within 4 hours of drivable distance, while here it's more of a holiday destination. However, because of Puerto Princesa also being the major hub for anything in Palawan, and all the government offices being here, whatever that brings, obviously by itself already business to town per se, and hopefully also to us, right? The ballroom is a great selling tool. People which get married here, we have 200 people, right? They get married here, they have a good meal. They know the property afterwards, right? So it's basically when you have a good ballroom and a great operation per se, it kind of helps you market yourself, right? And that's what it is. I mean, you always talk about the more famous destinations here, right? Boracay first, right? And so on and so on, right? But Puerto Princesa or Palawan by itself has much more potential, right? The whole stretch all the way down has so much potential. There's so much undeveloped potential in Palawan for holiday destinations, for secret beaches, for small things, and everything would come somehow through here, right? So for me, this is going to be becoming better and better here in Puerto Princesa. It becomes more and more as a hub for wherever you want to go from here. And that obviously makes it also a more important destination, ultimately, right?
So you also cater to the MICE market.
Yes, of course. That's why we have that, right? Nice, socials. I mean, we're not discriminating where the business comes from. So, you know what I mean, right? Of course, MICE is great. Government business is great. And ultimately, socials are also nice when you have weddings and things like that, right? Anniversary or whatever it might be. We do quite a bit of that. And then in any city, you have that, that potential to do well with socials, with MICE. And for me, socials are very good because that promotes within the community within, right? And that's always important for a hotel. Hopefully people come and say afterwards, let's have a meal one time here, or staycation, or whatever it might be.
So what are the rack rates for the room for the hotel, for the rooms?
Well, we have a dynamic rate, right? So we very much go in dynamic rates. Right now, it's a bargain, right? In September, it's rainy season, right? And ultimately, obviously, towards Christmas, it's going to get more expensive, right? Currently, our rates are just below, just above 2,500 pesos as such, right? All our rooms are, 80% of our rooms are of the same category, right? So therefore, we only have a few of the larger rooms per se, right? But yeah, as things develop, right? Obviously, the rates will also develop a little bit. I think Puerto Princesa in general still hinks a little bit behind more destinations that have faster caught up again after COVID. Right? But as I said, for me, the potential is there, and I think it will come. It's just that not everything can be done at the same time, right?
So what makes Sotogrande different from other local hotel here in Puerto Princesa?
I don't want to. That's a difficult question for me, but Endron is a hotel school. First and foremost, when we started, Endron now has other colleges as well and other degrees as well. But in the end of the day, we want to do good hospitality, right? Friendly service, great welcomes to the people, great farewells, like everybody else. But it's really about the basics and doing the basics right that makes a great hotel to me. And it's really the people there that basically serve you, which are the assets of the company. That's what we try to develop. People which are basically there for the guests, right? It's not. I always think that guest first, and everything else will come in place, right? If you have a reputation for good service, you have a reputation for taking care of the guests. Ultimately, this will come back to you in occupancy, in recognition, ultimately in dollars and cents. Right?
So I was reading the press release that they gave us earlier about Sotogrande Palawan, and it says there that your crew remembers their guest's name. Is that just lip service or is that real? Because I want to know. And it's so easy to say that, but like how? Because we haven't been staying here, so I wouldn't know. But like, how important is that lip service, or how real is that?
It's something we really want our staff to do. Will they do that 100%? If it's full house with 200 screaming people, it's probably difficult, right? Then it's probably difficult, but it's something that we want to do. It's something that we
You
want to
aspire to do.
develop. We aspire to do. It's something that belongs, or is in our SOPs to make sure. Because
Sometimes the SOPs are great, but the execution is a different thing altogether.
that's what we need to work on, right? That's what we're here for, right?
So how would you rate the event earlier? Is that the best of what Endaran Hotel can offer to the guests? Is that reflective of the actual service that Endaran stands for?
I think there's still a bit, how should I say? They still need to do a few more events to be really smooth with it.
Because you've been open
Right?
since November, right? So they have
Yeah,
like
but we
8
haven't
months.
had the events of 200, 150 people,
Instead of
served
a
like
full
that,
scale
right?
packed event.
Yeah, so I think there's still a slice more that has to be much more smoother, and yeah, we'll work with the team on it.
How's the hospitality market right now?
In Palawan.
Generally speaking, I feel that Puerto Princesa is a little bit behind what other destinations has achieved already, right? So you got Bohol doing fantastic at the moment, right? You got Baguio doing generally well. It's a little bit
Clark.
going down. Sorry?
Even Clark is like very visible.
Clark
when it
is
comes
doing
to
well
business.
because of all the casinos that now came up, right? Baguio is doing fantastic because of the distance, right? You can now basically on Thursday make a decision, you spend the weekend in Baguio, right? In the old days you needed at least 2-3 nights because it's 7 hours drive and so on. And Siargao is doing well because there's a limited market in Siargao because there are only small planes going there and so on. Right? So Puerto Princesa is a little bit behind it, right? I think a lot of the market that was here prior to COVID has kind of lost a little bit and needs to be found again. Mostly travel agent market, mostly foreigners in terms of Chinese, Taiwanese, Koreans that actually come back here, which were bigger markets before COVID than what we have now. But I'm confident that they will come back. There are currently, how should I say, a little bit of a struggle with Chinese tourists. I don't think the Department of Tourism can really do much about that. This is something that's on a higher level. But I always, how should I say, I don't want to blame whatever might be out there and I cannot do something about it, right? Let's do the best foot forward for Palawan, for Puerto Princesa, for Sotogrande, and let the rest fall in place, right? And I like what the city is doing in terms of having a triathlon and these kind of things, and that always brings people in because they want to come and do their sport and so on and so on. So that is something I think they can do more frequent, right? They just told me that in January there is a hospitality sales event they want to do, expo, right? So that's certainly something that will be interesting and help, right? And so on. So I think it's all about, doing your work for all the different departments, including the hotels, and develop the market from there, right?
So right now, your guests are mostly local.
Yes, absolutely.
In addition to what Chef Thomas said, Puerto Princesa is like a hub here in Palawan. So the opportunity is there. So it just depends on how the local government, at the same time the hospitality businesses, how they would want to capture that market. Currently, there's plenty of challenges, especially the ones at the islands, the northern part of Palawan. But of course, given that there are more flights here in Puerto Princesa, it's also cheaper. It's the opportunity is already there. It just depends on how they want to capture that market and how they can attract these people to stay here and spend more days here in Puerto Princesa.
I haven't been to your other Sotogrande locations in Katipunan and Baguio, but how is the Palawan location different or similar in the feel, in the vibe, atmosphere-wise? How is it different or similar to the other Sotograndes?
In terms of the design, the building design, it varies. Depends on the architect that we also got for every property. The look of the one in Sotogrande, Baguio is very different from the one here in Palawan. I think this look is the same Sotogrande in Neapolitan, but we're also operating very much the same size, same look, exterior look.
How would you describe it though? Is it would you describe it as more like relaxing? Is it more business-like? Is it
Because the one in Sotogrande Baguio, they relied heavily on the Igorot and
the local
culture.
Local fabric, local
Right.
colors,
I
yes.
think it's more the design, the interior design, the one in
That's the
Baguio.
vibe that Sotogrande Palawan
Did
wants
you
to
incorporate that kind of mga local touches pa tayo?
If you've seen the one in Baguio, that one was really very specific because you know yung mga Ifugao and yung mga Igorot in Baguio, that's what we also use as an inspiration to our interior, for the interior of our rooms in our restaurant. But here in Palawan, it's more of a relaxing atmosphere that we're trying to target. That's why we also put up a pool at the same time, more of sports facilities within the
Do
development.
you have an in-house spa?
We have the pool, we have the fitness center at the same time. We also have the jogging path located at Catalina Lake, and also the basketball court just right in front.
Yes, I noticed that earlier.
That's
This is the fourth Sotogrande, am I right?
So far, it's the sixth
Six.
Sotogrande.
Okay.
Sotogrande, yeah.
Totally 6.
Total 6 that are operational, and we're still building more Sotogrande around the Philippines.
Where?
One we're still building the one in Batangas, and another project that but we're not naming it a Sotogrande, our Sotogrande brand, but we're discussing with Chef one of our properties in Cebu, and that would be completed by next year.
That Cebu and
Batangas.
Cebu and Batangas.
next year.
The one in Batangas, hopefully by the end of the year, and then the one in Cebu would be end quarter next year.
Any plans for the company to expand to the northern part of Palawan, given
Like
that
El
you
Nido?
already are here in San
I believe yes. We're looking into properties that are still available in the northern part of Palawan. But currently, given the plenty of developers are also investing in San Vicente, in El Nido. So we're looking at properties that are still very affordable, so that we can also, because Santa Lucia is really more known about land development. So we want to still have a residential subdivision, and at the same time we can also put up a residential condominium that we can operate as well.
Okay, I have a question. This is the first time for Puerto Princesa specifically. Like, aside from Honda Bay, what are the other places that I could go to while staying here in Sotogrande, Palawan?
Definitely, the number one should be the underground river, and then You said you already went to Honda Bay?
No, not yet. Like,
Not
aside
yet.
from, because
Aside
you've
from Honda
always
Bay.
been saying,
Okay.
But then from Honda Bay, you can go to various little islands, right? Kauri Island is probably one of the better known ones,
Most
right?
popular.
But there are other ones as well. But then go island hopping as such, right?
any underrated places around the city.
What's good with Puerto Princesa, there are small beaches that you can visit just 20 to 30 minutes away from downtown or even from Sotogrande.
Nagtabon.
Yes, correct. So those are less popular beaches, but they're still very beautiful.
Or you could just stay here and enjoy the pool.
I have a question, by the way. With regards to the pool, do you guys have a temperature control water in the pool, or is it just
It's just
not alright.
yeah, it's an outdoor pool, so we don't have any water temperature.
I think in Puerto Princesa, you probably don't need to heat the pool. In Baguio, for example, the pool is
that
heated,
one's
right?
needed.
Because you need it, right? There's just no other choice, right? Otherwise, after a year, nobody will swim, right? So, but here, generally speaking, I mean, that seems to be people are swimming all
I think
times
if
of the
you come
year.
here during summertime, you feel like it's a hot spring.
Yeah,
And you're
it
near
doesn't pull you down.
Jeff, normally when there are hotel chains in different locations, they would have, highlight dishes that would be served out only at that location. Is there something similar here in this Sotogrande, Palawan?
No, it's actually a good question. We, as Enderon, we work with so many different owners, so we definitely have each one a different. We don't have something that runs through. Now that we have 3 Sotograndes, that would be actually something we should consider once, and have something which is uniquely Sotogrande, whether that's a dish, whether that's a candy we give away at the reception, whether that's something in the uniform or whatever, right? As such, kind of like a brand thing,
brand
right?
identity, yeah.
But we can't do it throughout all our hotels because there's different owners in different markets and whatever.
Right.
But for Sotogrande, it will make a lot of sense, and we should probably look into this, and it's a good idea, absolutely.
How about the food? Are there standard for every sort of Grand hotel, or is it different?
No, you gotta be different, and you have different chefs, and you do not want to have a standard adobo. Even though everybody knows it's the vinegar and the garlic and whatever else, every chef has the little nuance, and you want to go there where you feel is the best adobo, right? So I don't think that standardizing these things really work, right? What you need to find is the right chef that makes the right dressing or makes the right sauce or makes the right dish per se, right? And I must say, in eating now 3 times a la carte, and so far I must say you've done actually a very good job for a la carte food, and such. In functions, there still need to be a bit of improvement, but that they will need to be addressed, and they will.
Is there like a signature dish here?
You read my mind.
You serve lamayo.
I
You
think
serve
for
lamayo.
correct.
Yeah,
For
lamayo.
every property, depends on the location. Like here in Palawan,
Camilo.
our breakfast it includes lamayo.
Yeah,
What's a popular dish?
Yeah, it's
Which is a local delicacy. We
Parang
can also
cross na,
try to
ano, cross
incorporate
na-
also in our menu.
parang cross ng daing at saka ng...
Yes, correct. It has a little
Danggit.
more meat
Yeah, it's a bit more meaty, absolutely.
compared to danggit.
So, target occupancy by end of year.
At the end of this year,
100.
110. I hope that we're gonna go somewhere around 35%. That would be nice. That would be actually, yeah, because the market, as I said, needs development quite a bit here, and we hope that with the functions that we have by end of the year, obviously people will also stay over. It's all right. But we're quite a bit away from that, and we need to see how the fourth quarter really develops. Forward bookings do not look as optimistic per se, so it's quite a bit of
Last for me,
good.
business expectation.
Sorry.
Business expectation.
In what sense? In what
Your
sense?
business.
In dollars? In pesos? For me, the expectation I have from the team here is to be that much better every day. And that's basically that improvement that you want to see. And I'll have a meeting tomorrow with GM here, and we have to talk about a few things, just those little things, and tweak them and get them better and get it better. As I said, for me, it's always service, quality of service, and ultimately the rest should then fall in place. To me, if you take care of a guest, he's going to be coming back. And that's the most important thing for me.
And sir, I heard you're still expanding this property. Are you building more rooms, more buildings?
Or
For
amenities?
Here, yeah.
Here for Soto, Palawan, this is the only building that we're gonna put up here.
Kasi you mentioned
There's some rooms which are still
We're still completing.
per se. Right?
because you mentioned that
That's
this
what
is a
it
33-hectare development. How much percentage are already developed in that 33 hectares?
Out of the 33 hectares, it's already developed, but
Those are for
majority
residential.
of it would be under residential subdivision. Only our commercial lot, which is where Sotogrande, Palawan is located, that's just where we put up mostly our buildings.
How about hiring? I mean, how many employees do you now have here, and how big of that how big a percentage of that is local hires, specifically in Puerto Princesa?
Everybody except one.
So fully local.
Generally speaking, right? Fully local.
And how many?
Our GM here has been with us through 3 different properties before, and she started as a receptionist at front office these years ago, and then ultimately, right? And she's now here taking care of this property, right? Personally, think she's doing a great job, right? But everybody else is local hire.
Okay.
Right? My companion, Carlo Librea, myself, and sometimes somebody else, for the matter, we fly in to do certain jobs. We have a corporate food and beverage manager which comes every turnaround, right? Per se. But I do feel that if you want to get the genuine Palawan service, you need to have Palawan venues that serve it, right? And I think, I must say that there was a young girl, I think it's a little girl over there. She served lunch yesterday, she served tea and coffee before. I think she's doing a great job. She must be a fresh graduate. I haven't even asked her name yet, right? But I mean, she's genuinely somebody that wants to serve and is so friendly and nice, and I mean, it's fantastic. So I think we have quite a few young people which are really doing a great job, right? How much staff do we have at the moment? Today a lot, and if it's not busy, not so many, right? So we have about, I think, 28 in total of full-time staff. But that's for both properties, right? And they're kind of working together per se, right? But obviously today we had a few casuals and to help out or whatever we needed that, right? As such, right? So, but yeah, I mean, I'm excited with these young people here. They're really great. They're trying their best, and as I said, if they improve every day like much, if we can teach them every day when we come that much, then I think it's just going to be a continuous development of themselves. As I said before, you're going to lose some. Some going to go to the ships. Some going to go find a job in Manila. Some going to go whatever. But you need to train and train again and train again. In hope that sooner or later when somebody goes back, you get a trained person, right? And that's just the way it is. I think it's something we do all our lives in hospitality. It's just a way of life, right?
That works for all of us, actually.